7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. We are waking up to plenty of clouds streaming in, and we'll be limited in the sunshine department today. At least the best chance of seeing a few showers this morning will be areas down south, mainland South Florida. We'll get into the action in the afternoon. We'll see a couple showers. It's not going to be a washout of a day. It's just going to look more gloomy than anything else. Right now, if your commute takes you through Broward and Miami-Dade looking good, there are just a couple showers off the coast. Heading into the lower Florida Keys, heads up anywhere between Big Coppic Key, Big Pine, and the 7 Mile Bridge. You could be dealing with some showers in the next couple of minutes. Currently 70 degrees in Fort Lauderdale, 71 in Miami, 74 in Marathon and Key West, with the wind out of the northeast, and it'll be on the increase today due to the passage of a second front last night that will be stalled to the south and high pressure building in from the north. So we're going to have some lingering clouds and shower activity across the region. 40% rain chance. It does look like heading into tomorrow we'll start to dry out even more with more sunshine and high temperatures back into the 80s. We look ahead into our Thursday, and it seems like a stronger push of cooler air starts to settle in, and the polar vortex is what will be spilling pretty much a strong air mass, cold air mass down south. And it's this spin of very cold air in the Arctic, and as it takes a plunge to the south, it looks like freezing temperatures are expected between Atlanta, New York, Chicago, stretching into northern Florida. Temperatures in the 40s. Here in South Florida come Thursday morning, we will be in the 50s. Now, if you haven't made any weekend plans, we have the 54th Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade happening in Fort Lauderdale Saturday night. Although we're expecting some extra clouds, it promises to be very nice and mild, seasonable temperature-wise by 2 p.m. at 78, 6 p.m. 75 degrees with the light onshore flow. So hopefully we'll see you there. Threat of rip currents, high area beaches, small craft advisory in effect at least through this evening for our offshore waters. Biscayne Bay choppy, becoming a moderate chop later today for the Florida Keys, and there's an exercise caution here. And the next tide cycle, that is going to be low tide at 7:08 this morning for Key West. So for today, stubborn clouds, a couple showers, highs in the 70s. We move on into tonight, 60s to about 70 degrees for lows. It should be mainly dry, less humid, with your extended outlook calling for a cool down Thursday into Friday. Typical temperatures for the upcoming weekend. That's your 7 on 7.
7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
And we're off to a cloudy start, South Florida. For now, it's mostly dry, but there's a chance of seeing some shower activity today. With a front that crossed through the area last night, at least a second front crossing through the area last night and leaving these clouds and a little moisture behind. 70 in Miami. Fort Lauderdale, 72 in Homestead, West Kendall, Pembroke Pines at 68 degrees with a northerly wind, 6 to 10 miles per hour, and the humidity still on the higher end. On the radar, it's mostly dry. If it takes you through Broward and Miami-Dade, you'll notice off the coast, that's where there are some showers, and these will actually stay there right now because of the steering wind. Now heading into the Florida Keys, Marathon seeing some light shower activity at this time. Big view showing where the clouds are located and plenty of them streaming in across the state of Florida. Temperature wise, chilly around the northern tier of the country. We have Minneapolis at 26, 19 degrees in New York City to 33 in Atlanta, and the polar vortex is going to send even colder air between today and Thursday for these locations. Here in South Florida, we're going to get dip in degrees by the end of the week, just not as significant as other parts of the country. So for today, lingering clouds and a shower chance in the forecast. Tomorrow we'll actually have clearing skies, more sunshine for sure, with high temperatures back in the 80s. Reinforcing front moves in Wednesday night into Thursday, and we'll be waking up into the 50s around mainland South Florida, some 50s and 60s for the Florida Keys. And if you haven't made any weekend plans, we have the 54th Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade happening in Fort Lauderdale, 6 p.m. Saturday night. And the forecast is actually looking pretty good. Just some extra clouds throughout the day, a light breeze off the ocean, and seasonable temperatures in the 70s by 3 p.m., 78, 7 p.m. As the parade is underway, temperatures will be in the lower 70s. Your boating forecast right now, not looking the best. Small craft advisory in effect. There's a rip current risk at area beaches. Biscayne Bay choppy, becoming a moderate chop later today. There is an exercise caution. And for your next tide cycle, we're going to have a high tide change at 11:33 in Fort Lauderdale. Look for highs in the 70s this time around instead of the 80s. So it'll feel noticeably cooler. Heading into tonight, upper 60s to about 70 degrees, and it'll be less humid. Your extended outlook South Florida has cooler weather to close out the week. Typical temperatures over the weekend. Chance for showers, at least a better chance, starts on Sunday. And that's your 7 on 7 forecast.
Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Erika Delgado.
All right, South Florida, this is a live look over downtown Miami, Biscayne Bay. Those are low clouds. We're seeing cloudy skies, also some light rain across portions of South Florida. Unfortunately, it's going to stick around, that together with the cloud cover. And because of that, our temperatures have really struggled to warm this morning. We're still at 71 in Miami, 72 in Fort Lauderdale, and in Kendall, even Hialeah still in the upper 60s. 73 in Homestead. Into the Florida Keys, we've seen the occasional shower pushing through, but also across the island chain, temperatures have been stuck in the mid to low 70s. Look at all this moisture over the Florida Straits. That is the moisture associated with the front that came through yesterday late in the day. And even though it didn't bring a significant cool down, it has brought temperatures down a few degrees. And this morning, we were about 6 to 7 degrees cooler than we were yesterday at this very same time. So there's a lot of moisture surrounding South Florida. We have a lot of it over the Atlantic waters, and now our breeze has veered off the water. We'll see those showers occasionally pushing through, and some of our coastal areas are seeing a little more in the way of that rain. And you can see it's all focused across the southern half of the state. Northern half of the state enjoying a cool down this morning with brighter skies, and you can see there's even some thunderstorm activity across the Florida Straits along that old front. As we work our way through the day, temperatures will remain cooler than we've been the last few days, especially when you consider the fact that we've had near or record heat a few times over the last week. Yesterday, we tied records in both Miami and Fort Lauderdale in the mid 80s. So naturally today, our mid 70s are going to feel cooler. We have a wind coming out of the northeast. Cloud cover lingers, unfortunately, so we will remain cloudy throughout the day today with on and off showers continuing into late afternoon and early evening. Boating forecast for Miami-Dade and Broward, not the greatest. Winds will be picking up in speed, so we have a high risk of rip currents across area beaches, although the weather's not great for the beach anyway. We do have a small craft advisory for Miami-Dade and Broward waters. Seas along the Gulf Stream up to 8 feet today. And into the Florida Keys, use caution as seas will still build anywhere between 5 to 6 feet. We do have a high tide in the next hour in Fort Lauderdale at 11:33. 12:02 p.m. will be the high tide in Miami. Key West, your high tide at 1:47 this afternoon. And speaking of this afternoon, this is as warm as it's going to get. Mid, some upper 70s possible, but the clouds will linger and we'll see those showers on and off, so it's just not going to allow for that warming. Tonight will be a little cooler. We'll be in the upper 60s to near 70. A stronger front, by the way, does come through on Thursday, and that one's going to bring some cooling for us here, 50s and 60s, and then temperatures on the mild side on Saturday, just in time for the Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade. That's your 7 on 7.